Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for Welcome back and a very special welcome. If you're new here, my name is Jen and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes new eyeshadow palettes. We are going to test them out, first impression review tutorial, and today I am really excited about the palette that we're going to be applying to my eyes, testing out, doing our first impressions on, and that is the brand new BEAUTYBAY palette, Dark Fantasy. Now, BEAUTYBAY makes an absolutely incredible eyeshadow formula for an incredible price. This palette is only $18. The minute that this palette was released, I knew that I had to have it. It is all of my dark fantasies come true. I love the outside packaging. I think it's really pretty with the neon colors, the purples and the blues, and I even like how they added that little bit of iridescent and color to the back of the palette as well. I really appreciate that there is a mirror in the palette, and the color story is so intriguing and interesting. It is deep, it is grungy. There are some neutrals, there's some colors. BEAUTYBAY shimmers are out of this world, and this palette did not disappoint. There are some absolute beautiful shimmers in here that I can't wait to apply to my eyes. I love that we have purples and greens and dark, deep blacks and browns. This is such a beautiful palette, and you can't beat the price. And the quality of the palette swatching wise was incredible. We'll have to see how it applies to the eyes because, as we know, swatches only tell us so much, but I really appreciate that there's a black and a white in the palette, and this shimmer, this black shimmer, oh, it is one of the prettiest black shimmers I've ever seen. And again, a super affordable palette. So I will make sure that I link the palette down below for you. So if you're excited to see what eye look I create, my first impression and review, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I will link the BEAUTYBAY Dark Fantasy palette down below, along with my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. If you would like to recreate this look, and come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Let me zoom you in and let's create an eye look with the BEAUTYBAY Dark Fantasy palette. So this is a 20 color eyeshadow palette, and I always say that it is so hard for me to decide what colors I want to use, especially in a palette as beautiful as this one. It is just me in a palette. I love all the grunginess. I immediately was thinking I would do a green look, and then I was like, oh, what about a purple look with a little bit of the blues involved, a little bit of blues, but I really want to try out a lot of the mattes and shimmers. So I'm going to do a little bit more colorful looks so that I can try out as many mattes and shimmers as possible. I'm going to pick up the shade Slime, which is this really pretty green matte, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade. So I'm going to tap it into my crease and blend it out. So tap, 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 and then windshield wiper blending motion. Okay, BEAUTYBAY. Wow, look at this color. This is so pretty, and it is so pigmented. It is going on incredibly easy, blending out like perfection, and I love the color. It's a mix between a Kelly green, a deeper green, and like a slime green. So slime is the perfect name for this shade. So I'm going to really just focus that on my crease and then blending it just up a little bit because I do have slightly hooded eyes. So I always bring my eyeshadow a little bit above my crease. Look at how beautiful that is. This is one of the most unique, prettiest greens, and I can't believe how flawlessly this applied. It blended out really nice. It's very opaque, very rich in color. Ooh, I really love this green. So for the outer corner of my eye, I'm picking up the deep blue shade called Hardcore. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is a little bit of kick up in the pan with that deep blue shade. There was a little bit with Slime, but there's a little bit more with Hardcore, which generally just means that it's pigmented. So just tap your brush off to avoid fallout. I've already set my face, so if I have fallout, which I have a little bit, we should be able to just wipe that away. This blue color, oh my gosh. Wow, that is so beautiful. This is a navy blue dream. I mean, this is so pretty. I literally am speechless on how pigmented this shade is. It is such a beautiful navy blue. I just went ahead and tapped that onto the outer corner, and then I'm going to just blend that out just a little bit. I mean, this shade is incredible. With that same brush that I applied slime, I am just going to use that to buff the edges. I just want to blend that really pretty shade Hardcore, the navy, a little bit more into the slime color. I am so impressed already. I'm actually pretty blown away. So I have to use this shade Virtual, this black shimmer shade. Oh, it's so incredibly beautiful. So I'm going to apply that with my finger, focusing on the outer portion of my eye closest to that shade Hardcore, that navy shade. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's adding all the grunge and depth that I wanted, but adding that really pretty black shimmer. This is applying really nicely with the finger. We are going to apply another shimmer with the brush so we can test out whether or not it's easy to apply with a brush or just a finger. But I really like this black shade. It's definitely adding some depth to my look, and it has a really subtle sparkle, and it blends beautifully with the navy shade Hardcore. Another shimmer that I'm obsessed with is this kind of blurple periwinkle shade called Source. So I'm going to pick that up on a brush. We're going to test it out on a brush, see if it applies as nicely and seamlessly as it did with my finger. And I'm actually going to focus that on the inner portion of my lid. These shimmers, they're so beautiful. Look at that shade. Oh my gosh, it's so stunning. It is such a beautiful color, and it's just adding everything to this look. It's still deep, dark, and grungy, which is what I was going for, but this shade Soars just adds that little bit of that little pop of that blurple color. And I'm going to just blend that in a little bit more with the black shimmer shade, just so I can really highlight that shade Source. It is so incredibly beautiful. One more time in with that fluffy brush that had slime on it, just to kind of blend everything out. For my lower lash line, I'm using the shade Spaced. This is a foresty green matte. That's going to pull in the green that I have in my crease. So I'll buff that on my lower lash line. That is so beautiful. It's deep, it's dark, it's grungy, but it's pulling the green from slime down to the lower lash line and just finishing off that green vibe that I wanted with this look. With the shade Nightmare, the purple shimmer in the palette, I'm gonna pick that up and use that on the inner portion of my lower lash line and buff that over. That shimmer is so pretty too. The shimmers in this palette, oh my gosh, the match, just this palette in general is so nice. Of course we're using Code, the white kind of duochrome in the palette. I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. This shade swatched beautifully. Whoa. Oh yes, 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 yes. That is so stunning. So it's the white in the palette, the white shimmer, but it has a little bit of a blue undertone. So it's perfect with this eye look with the blurples, the blue, the green. Look at how pretty that is. So here is my look so far. I'm going to go ahead and apply some liner, some mascara, and I'll be back to share the finished look, and we'll go over my final thoughts on the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. So here is my completed look with the brand new Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. I think the tutorial spoke for itself. I am incredibly impressed. Now, I have a lot of Beauty Bay palettes. Their Age of Opulence, their Wilderness palette that literally went viral and sold out several times. And this palette, honestly, I think the quality is better than both of those. Though the quality in those two, 10 out of 10, this is like 20 out of 10. The mattes are extremely pigmented, easy to blend. They are not patchy. They are buildable. They don't just blend away, which I appreciate. But the star of the show is definitely the shimmers. They are incredible. I mean, every shimmer I used on my eyes is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to try out all the other shimmers. I want to create a neutral look, a green look, a blue look. There are so many options in this palette, and I love that there's a lot of deep, dark shades. But again, there's neutral shades, there's lighter shades. It's really a great palette for everybody, and you can't beat the price point. For the quality, the fact that there's a mirror in the palette, it's an absolute must-have. Based on the quality of the mattes, the shimmers, the price point of it, you can't beat it. It is still available as of the filming of this video. I will link it down below for you. I did have to pay shipping. They do have free shipping with a minimum order. I just ordered the palette and the shipping was just a couple of dollars. It made it just over $20 for the palette, which this quality of this is like a $50 eyeshadow palette. It's that good. So again, it'll be linked down below for you. Let me know if you picked up the palette, if this swayed you to pick up the palette. What do you think of my look? Let me know everything down in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell is turned on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Check out the description box for the Beauty Bay palette, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today. And of course, come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. This is definitely a must-have palette.